What's up, guys? This is Brave, and I'm back for another review of Love and Marriage Detroit. This is Season 1, Episode 9, and let's get right into the review. So, of course, we're starting off with Brandon and Anthony. They are still going back and forth. Brandon is like, listen, you got to get all this energy out my face. You got to get you and your bad breath out my face, Anthony. And I can't lie, I was kind of annoyed because, Anthony, why are you so close to him? Get you and your hot breath away from this man's face and just explain from a distance. So, Brandon, he says that, no, I'm sorry, not Brandon. Anthony says that there's been disrespect on both sides. And what do we get out of this? No resolution. I'm just like, well, what was the point of this whole arguing back and forth for? Are we going to move forward together or are we not? Next thing you know, we see the ladies and they talk about Kobe possibly having more kids. Listen, that's the furthest thing from her mind. And then they end up meeting up with the husbands. All right, fine and dandy. Let's move on. Brandon and Christina. So they talk or whatever, and she still feels like there's an issue between her and LaToya and Brandon. He feels like there's a target on his back when it comes to Anthony. Like, honestly, this show is so draining. Like, I feel like these people tolerate each other because this is the first season of the show and they want to continuously get paid, so they got to pretend like they like each other. But I don't think nobody likes each other. I really don't. Nonetheless, he goes on to tell Christina about how Anthony wants Lyrique to be a part of the showcase. Now, Christina, she says that, she worked with this man years ago and he had a thing for her, but she wasn't interested in him like that. He don't even look like he her type. So I can see why she would pass that man right on by, okay? But let's go ahead and move on. So now we have LaToya and Anthony. Y'all, they finally hired a chef because they're about to have dinner, right? And I'm like, how is it that y'all have been here this whole weekend and y'all are just now hiring a chef to come cook for y'all? Because let me tell you something. Russell should have been on payroll. Did y'all pay Russell for all the times he was cooking and cleaning and doing all the stuff in the kitchen? Because Russell cooked for them when they got on the bus. Russell cooked the dinner for the first night. I'm going to need for y'all to pay him the same amount y'all paid the chef. Actually, a little bit more because he cooked more than the chef did. Nonetheless, Christina brings out her situation box at dinner. So I'm like, all right, cool. The mess about to get started. This going to be good, right? Because I was under the impression that the situation box was so that people can put their situation out there on the table, discuss it, and move on. No, that's not what happened. Because the first question was, how do the husbands want the wives to initiate sex? I was like, oh, this is not where I thought it was going. So Bravo chimes in and he basically says, you just basically have to initiate by giving head. That's it. That's all. That's all he wrote. Yeah. I said, okay, Bravo. Like, I don't think that was the answer that the ladies were expecting. Like, I think they thought it was going to be something more romantic or whatever, but no. He just got straight to it. Now, Brandon, he did say something along the lines of, women, you guys are beautiful, but like we want to feel beautiful as well. We want to feel appreciated, all this stuff. All right, cool. Good for him and his answer. Nonetheless, dinner is over. Russell talking about he got to go lay down. He's tired. I'm just like, you know what, Russell? What has been your purpose besides cooking? Like, Russell don't really bring nothing. I'm sorry. Honestly, none of these couples bring anything to the table. But I feel like Russell is just getting lost in the shuffle. Kobe as well, but she keeps trying to throw herself in there. Nonetheless, the girls are talking outside. So now we have Christina and LaToya talk for the umpteenth time, and we're still not going to get any type of resolution because LaToya, she's basically saying that she's noticed things about Christina when she gets into it with other people, including her husband, and there are things that she doesn't like. And that's understandable because you can learn a lot about someone with the way they handle other people. Now, when it comes to Christina, though, she feels like that's LaToya judging her, and she does not have any, real reason as to why she don't care for her. Here's my thing. I don't see these ladies being friends. Like, I really feel like they tolerate each other because of the show. Not even because of their husbands. Because, their husbands don't even really rock that well. They are tolerating each other for the show. And it's really sad. Because, honestly, I thought that we would see more of the ladies doing stuff together. And we hardly see that. It's always the men running around and whining. But, I guess, like I said, I don't see LaToya and Christina being besties. I don't even see them being friends. I don't see any of the ladies being friends. I'm actually more interested in Bravo's girl. I don't know if that's his wife or just his girlfriend, but I'd rather learn about her life than to hear about these other three. Back to Detroit, y'all, because the trip is over. Anthony, he meets up with Bravo, and I'm just like, all right, here comes another meeting without Brandon. But this time we're not talking about the showcase. We are talking about the man's movement. I hate that name. Nonetheless, Bravo wants to bring in Marceau Scott. The same Marceau from Love and Marriage Huntsville. I think he fits right in with these lame men. So Anthony, he goes on to explain to Marceau, what the movement is all about. And I will say this. It did sound good. I'm not exactly sure if he's going to be able to execute all of this, but it sounds good when he says it. So Marceau, he says he wants to be involved, and I'm like, okay, great. If y'all think that he's like a Detroit hero, we gonna roll with that. Brandon goes to see his mom, right? Now she talks about how she made him his favorite cake. And I'm like, okay, well, that's real nice of her to do, especially for her to make his favorite cake for his birthday. And he clearly don't want to be there, though. Like, I'm sorry. I felt like there was more pushback from Brandon than his mom. Like, I feel like his mom was trying in the scene, and Brandon was still being that brat. Because when it came to him, like, even coming in, sitting down, he was just like, yeah, where the fork at so I can eat my cake and I can leave. That was the type of energy he was on. And his mom was like, well, can you at least read the card first? You know what I'm saying? So, here's the thing. As I watch this scene, I feel like Brandon's mom probably tried, to raise Brandon and talk to Brandon and all of that. But as he got older, his mom did not know how to handle having a black child. I feel like that is what's happening here. And because she did not know how to handle having a black child, she just kind of let him do whatever that he wanted to do. And considering the era that this man grew up in, I can definitely see how there could have been a struggle for his mom to possibly raise him, you know what I'm saying, in the best way possible. Because, number one, you don't have the same resources that you have today. So I'm not about to hold that against her. And also, from what we've learned, he grew up in the hood. So you have this white woman in the hood raising some black kids. Now he probably got to go to school, try to prove that he's black. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like there's this is a very complicated situation when it comes to Brandon and his mom. So here's the thing. He tells her that he wants to go to therapy. Well, he thinks it's a good idea for them both to do therapy together. And I will say, you know what? That's a good idea. So he tells her that Christina feels like he lacks communication. Now, here's my thing, y'all. He may lack some communication. However, I feel like that's not the issue when it comes to him and Christina. The problem is that he only lacks communication when it's convenient for him. Because it's not that he doesn't communicate with his wife. It's that he be lying. For example, this dude literally got off the phone with his wife. Yeah, he didn't tell her that he was at the studio with the artist that is a woman. But he literally rushed her off the phone, made it seem like it was her fault, that, he got a jacked up attitude. Come to find out, it's because you're working with a certain artist. Like, I don't know. I feel like Brandon is a liar. And his lies have nothing to do with the lack of communication. Like, no. You are just purposefully withholding information from your partner. So, anyways, his mom, she asked him, like, do you have any trauma? Or do you feel like, you have trauma from the way you grew up? And he says that, he has like a lack of emotion and it wasn't easy being from the hood, like I mentioned, with a white mom. And honestly, the more that I hear Brandon talk and how we have seen, his personality and all of that on the show, I would not be surprised if Brandon rebelled when he was younger to prove his blackness. I would not be surprised. So at the end of this conversation, his mom does agree that she will go to therapy with him. Great. So y'all, now we get to Anthony and LaToya. Y'all, it's the day of the Man's Movement March. It's raining. And honestly, the little hall that they were in, I don't know if that was the back of somebody's like church. I don't know what that was. But this ain't it. This ain't it. He ain't got no signs up, no balloons, no nothing, okay? And she's like, where's this? Where's that? He ain't got no answers. And in the confessional, she's like, if he would have let me help him with this, it wouldn't be looking like this. I'm like, well, girl, you definitely should have helped, but you're not a man, so you can't be a part of the movement. So, here's the thing. Bravo shows up. And I cracked up with the way, what's her name? LaToya. LaToya, like, leaned in trying to give Bravo, like, that side hug. And he just left her leaning. I fell out. Like, y'all gotta go back and watch that little scene. I was hollering, okay? So, then Russell and Kobe show up. I was like, okay. So, the cast is gonna show up. But where are the people? Where is the mans? Where is the men at? So, and another thing, why is Kobe here? Why was LaToya there? Shouldn't this only be men? Nonetheless, here comes Brandon. Even Marsau popped up. Again, where are the men? This is embarrassing, okay? Because y'all done invited Marsau to be a part of this for what? It don't even make sense. So, next thing you know, here comes some men. They finally start to show up. I don't know if production ran and grabbed a few people who could have possibly been walking in the rain and said, please come film this with us, or what. But they came in. It maybe would have been about, 20 people? That's about it. And next thing you know, Anthony giving a speech. LaToya daddy giving a speech. Marsau up there talking. And I'm just like, what exactly are y'all talking about? Like, what is the point of all this? Like, I'm with Brandon. What is happening right now? Like, I understand where Brandon is coming from this entire time. So now it's time to march, y'all. So they go outside. They are marching on back roads of Detroit. I'm like, where's y'all, like, chant at? Y'all don't have a chant. Y'all ain't got no signs. Y'all ain't got a song. You need something. Like, I thought they was going to be walking past businesses, you know what I'm saying? So that way the people can see. They was walking on empty roads. I'm like, what did y'all do? Just walk around the block? Just to walk? And get some exercise in? Anthony, you should have thought this through. I don't know if you thought you was Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. and thought this was about to be, the big march. But this wasn't it, baby. This was not it. So, it's over, right? And at the end of this thing, even Marsau is like, this is a start, but it needs to be taken to the next level. And I absolutely agree. Like, this was a start, but Anthony, you doing all this big talking, it make it seem like you really little, okay? You're not as big as you think you are. You're the small fry right now. So, after all of that, you know what I'm saying? I just realized that the men's movement actually should have done something for the community. I don't know if they should have, did a toy drive. I don't know if they should have done free haircuts. I don't know, but they should have done something else besides walk around the block. Like, that's really bothering me. But nonetheless, Brandon, he still has questions about the men's movement, what it's really about, what was the purpose of today. My boy is confused. And Kobe, she's like, well, all the information was on the pamphlet. I don't understand why you don't understand. Ma'am, sit down. Like, I get it. You're trying to throw yourself a bone because you and your husband ain't got no scenes, really. But this ain't the time. Please chill out. So, she feels like Brandon is just being shady. And he might be. But I feel like those are valid questions because the way Anthony has had them meet up for the man's meeting and the man's this, the man's that, like, this ain't really a movement. This is honestly, this could have been a book club. I think actually a book club may have more members than this. Like, come on now. And also, I just think that Brandon was underwhelmed by the turnout. It is what it is. But let's go ahead and wrap this up because Brandon, he's going to do therapy with his mom. So he feels like, the support and love wasn't verbalized for him when he was growing up. And he feels like, now that he's grown, he's living with those consequences of that. Now, his mom said, whoa, not so fast. Because I tried and he would never have any answer when I would ask him stuff, try to talk to him. And I just feel like this woman was not equipped in knowing how to pull things out of her child. So she just left it alone. That's what I really think. I think she did not know how to talk to her son or get through to her son. So she just left it alone. And it's been like that ever since. So now, he feels like, well, I was a kid. You should have tried more. And I'm pretty sure she did try. And that was just the one instance that she brought up. But like I said, considering Brandon's personality, the time that he grew up in, and most teenagers, let's be honest, they don't want to be bothered with their parents like that. So I would not be surprised if, she just kind of let him do his own thing. So here we go. The therapist, she asks, where do they want to see the relationship go? And the mom is like, I would like to have some conversations with him sometimes. And he heard it as she could go with the conversation or without it. I don't think that's what the mom meant. I think she was just saying, like, speaking generally of just, yeah, we can hang out sometimes, you know what I'm saying? Very casual. I think she was saying it casually, but we're going to think deeper because we're in therapy and it made Brandon feel away. I feel like Brandon and his mom, they have a lot of work to do, and I do think that they can, build a better relationship. At least that's what I would hope for. Let me know what y'all thought about it. Like, do you feel like all of Brandon's issues are stemming from his mom? Or, you know what, this actually makes me wonder, when did the mom and the dad get a divorce? Just because I feel like that may also be a problem. And since his dad has passed on, he may not realize the effects that his dad have left on him. Because one thing that I've noticed is that a lot of times when their parents pass away, you only want to remember the good things and, not mention the things that weren't so great. So I just wonder what parts his father plays in the way Brandon is today. But y'all let me know what y'all thought about this episode, especially that man's movement that had no movement. Go ahead and like, comment, subscribe to my channel, and I will talk to y'all on the next one. Bye, guys.